Hey guys, I'm Katie, and today I'm so excited to be sharing with you how to find Hekate in your birth chart and also what the heck that means. Hekate is a goddess of witches, witchcraft, crossroads, magic. She is a triple goddess, maiden, mother, and crone, deep ties to the night sky, to the darkness, to the moon. And she can reveal so much magic and wisdom in your birth chart. And I originally created a video going through all of the different signs and also houses that Hekate can be in your birth chart for my Patreon community, which is called the Witch Goddess Coven. And after I posted it, I was like, you know what? I feel like this one needs to go out to the broader public. More people need to know where Hekate is in their birth chart and what that means for them. So that is what this video is. Right now I'm going to show you how to find Hekate in your birth chart, and then it's going to roll into the video that I originally posted for my Patreon, going through each of the different signs and houses. I go through the houses pretty quickly because the signs took up a lot of time, but I think I'll circle back and do a more in-depth video on the different houses, as well as just other ways that we can dive deeper with Hekate in our birth chart, because today is really just scratching the surface. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to find Hekate in your own birth chart. Okay, so the site that I use is AstroSeek, and I'll put this below in the description of this video. And you're going to be looking for their asteroids in natal chart asteroid online calculator. Again, the link will take you right to this. So I've already put in my birth information, got to put the place in there, and I use the Placidus house system. You can kind of unclick some of these. It comes with some asteroids already highlighted, and then you're going to scroll down to number 6, and it's spelled with a K, Hekate, and it is 100. And then over here, you can just leave that. If you want to see what aspects Hekate has, like if she's square your sun or trine your moon or something like that, you can see what different aspects she has to planets and objects, or just to asteroids. We'll do to planets and objects. And then we're just going to go ahead and click calculate asteroids. And now we are going to look for the place that says Heka, signaling where Hekate will be in your chart. So as you can see, she is right at the beginning of my 8th house, and she is also in Aries for me. That's what this sign is over here. You can see the exact degree over here. She's 25 degrees Aries in my 8th house. If you don't know what the different symbols in astrology are, just do a quick Google search and it'll tell you what the different ones are. And then you can come down here and also see she's sextile my sun, she's square my Venus, square Uranus, and square Neptune. So that is how you would find Hekate in your birth chart. And if you keep watching, I'm going to go through all of the different houses, signs, and then houses, and what that means for your specific birth chart. Hello, my beautiful witches, and welcome to your Hekate in your birth chart workshop. I am maybe more excited for this particular video and workshop within the Witch Goddess Coven than I am for anything else so far. I know that there's going to be many more to come that light me up in this way, and this is just the beginning of a very beautiful start down this journey, and you are right at the forefront of it. Just to give you a little bit of a peek behind the scenes, on the new moon in Aries that we had, that was also a partial solar eclipse, I received the download that this collective was meant to start working with Hekate from an astrological standpoint, and specifically to find Hekate in our birth charts and work with her on like a deeply personal level that took us deep and beyond just the stunning work that we're already doing with her. But she wants us to like dive even deeper into our own personal journey with her. And so I have been sitting on that information ever since I received it, and I'm so excited to finally be rolling this out. This is going to be the first, I feel like, probably, of course, I just have to kind of go with wherever the tides decide to take me, wherever Hekate decides to take me. But I'm just giving you the basics today of what Hekate means in your birth chart based off of what sign she's in and what house she's in. But there's a lot more that we can do to dive deep into how to work with Hekate within our birth chart and also within current transits. So right now she is in Scorpio and she's actually in retrograde right now. So if you do this and you find out that your Hekate is in Scorpio, you're actually having your Hekate return right now. So I just feel like this is the beginning of a beautiful journey of working with her in our birth charts. And I'm so excited that you are here at the forefront of it with me. So I just posted a video about how to find Hekate in your birth chart. If you have not done that yet, watch that video first. It's super simple. I'll also put the link in these notes of how to get there. I use AstroSeek to find where Hekate is within my own birth chart, but I made a video walking you through how to do that. So make sure you check that one out and then come back and watch this one. So before we dive into the different signs and houses that Hekate can be in, what that means, and I'll put timestamps for all of those so you can jump ahead to your specific sign and house if you would like. I just want to take a moment to talk about what she means in our birth charts altogether. So if you're part of this collective, if you've been receiving messages from Hekate for a while, then you are likely very familiar with her energy already, but I'll just give us some deeper things to feel into in terms of what she means in our personal birth chart. So wherever Hekate is, whatever house she's in, but also whatever sign she's in, is really, you can think of as like a beacon of light for you in your birth chart, a torch in an otherwise maybe dark place or dark area of your life. And she is here to shed light on things for us, to make the hidden be seen, to help us go to those depths. She is obviously the goddess of deep transformations. And so this is likely a space in your life where you are meant to go through some really big death and rebirth moments. Maybe you have had a lot of crossroads in this particular area of your life, not knowing that she was there, guiding you all along. She is also obviously the goddess of witches. And so this is an aspect of you, an aspect of your life, an aspect of your personality that is especially potent with magic, with the ability to change things that are seemingly unchangeable in a very sudden, miraculous, and fated way. What's coming to mind is like seeing a hopeless situation, thinking that there's no way out. And then out of nowhere, things just sort of take a radical change for the better in a way that you couldn't have even fathomed, if you, in your wildest dreams, if you tried. That is the type of energy that Hekate brings to our birth charts. She is also a space of divine wisdom for us. This is likely an area of your life where you bring a lot of wisdom to yourself and to others. It may be a wisdom that you grow into over time. Maybe you're not born feeling super wise in this area of your life, but it's something that you grow into. And it's an area of yourself where you are meant to be wild and free and unapologetic and authentic. And it's meant to sort of have a ripple effect out from that area of your life into other areas of your life as well. And one thing that I want to offer before, again, diving into the specifics is, number one, just because Hekate is in a specific sign and place in your chart does not mean that she does not take on other attributes within your life. And it does not mean that she doesn't have impacts on other areas of your life. So like if Hekate is in your second house, she very much has a hand in your finances, in your tangible reality. Now, if Hekate is in your third house, does that mean that she has nothing to do with your finances? No. It just means that the way that she is going to impact your finances is going to come from working with you on your communication, on your curiosity, your learning, how it is that you interact with things that you are familiar with. So she is so expansive, especially if you're here, you're meant to work with her on a very deep level. So what I don't want to happen is to have this pigeonhole the way that you view her or work with her. And anything that I say, I would encourage it to be the cherry on top of the work that you've already done with her, of how you've come to know her. This is getting to know her on a deeper level for you specifically. This is not meant to change what it is that you think or feel about her, or how you work with her, or what that means to you. Always honor your own innate inner wisdom, and then allow this to sort of be the cherry on top where you can dive deeper into these different aspects. So with that, we are going to go through the different signs that Hekate can be in, as well as the different houses. And then along the way, and also at the end, I'll just sort of offer some additional ways within our birth charts that we can work with her and look towards on a deeper level. And if you guys like this, and if this feels like a path that we're meant to continue to go down, then I will keep doing follow-up workshops that allow us to use some more advanced astrological concepts in order to sort of dive deeper and tell an even deeper story. But this is just really meant to be that beginning overview and snapshot of what it means to work with Hekate in your birth chart. So without further ado, let's dive in, and I'll go ahead and let you guys know that my Hekate is in Aries and in the 8th house. So if I have a little bit of extra behind those two, it's probably because those are the ones that I know the best. But let me know in the comments if we share any placements or where yours are. Like, I feel like this is such a stunning, beautiful collective, and I'm sure we have a representation of all different signs and all different houses. And I would love to hear what those are, so that we can celebrate Hekate within one another. So I'm also going to invite you to think about the season that Hekate is in your birth chart, because I do think, as a witch, as a goddess of witches, working with the seasons and working with earth and cycles is also an important element in term on top of, so like the season, the element that she's in, the modality that she's in, as well as just like the sign in general. And I'll tell you all of those things for each of the signs. So these first 3 signs, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, all have spring energy when it comes to Hekate. And Aries in particular, which is where we will start and where my Hekate is, she is fiery. She is cardinal. She gets things started. She is passion. So you've likely seen, my messages either here or on TikTok, where, I'm just like, this is what's fucking up, and Hekate's talking through me, but it's passionate, it's bold, it's fiery, it's unfiltered, it's raw. That is Hekate in Aries. She is a leader when she is in any cardinal sign, but especially Aries is like first of the zodiac, first to go. It's very trailblazer energy, as well as a way shower. And there's also this layer on top of it that I'd like to add of sacred anger, sacred wrath. And it's not meant to be like, I'm not an angry person. I don't consider myself to be an angry person, But I do think there are certain things in my life, in the world, that I see that ignite this sacred anger, sacred wrath within me that sort of force me to move, to be that trailblazer, to get things going. And so there is this layer of like raw, unfiltered emotion that is somewhat maybe looked down upon, specifically when it comes to feminine expression. You don't see many people encouraging women to express their wrath or their anger in a sacred way, but that is available to us. And that is part of what she is trying to do through being in Aries, through being in that fire, through being in that passion. So if that is you and you feel this like warrior spirit, and maybe it's anger on your own behalf. Aries is very self-facing, but it could also be, you have a sacred anger or wrath regarding how a certain collective of individuals are being treated in the world, or animals, and that like forces you to act. Because it is Aries and it is very self, it is likely that she will work with you on a lot of deeply self-transformational work. And that work that you do on yourself is meant to deeply benefit the collective in some way, shape, or form. So where she is in your birth chart has a lot to do with the type of work of hers that you came here to do. And Aries has a very self-transformation flavor to it, but in a way that then gets pushed out into the collective and is worked with in a way that is like, okay, I worked on myself. I transformed myself. Now I am helping transform the collective, transform the other from this place of warrior, of strong, of divine feminine, of fire, of passion. So that is Hekate in Aries. Hekate in Taurus is Earth, fixed sign. She in Taurus has an energy that feels more grounded, more stable, more steady. She is sensual. There is a focus on the body and connection to Mother Earth through the body. If your Hekate is in Taurus, her energy is much more likely to feel like a steady drumbeat that you can always feel. With Aries, you may have more highs and lows with her. Think of like the dancing of flames, whereas Taurus, earth, steady, grounded, but there's still this spring energy that is the through tie from Aries, Taurus, and Gemini that is very new, fresh, maiden energy, maiden eyes. It's very much, she is wanting to birth and create real tangible things in the 3D through you. So it's not that you're not going to be able to, share her messages verbally or ideas or anything like that. Yes, of course you can do that, but there's something about like a physical representation of her, whether that be through art or jewelry or like massage or energetic healing. There's a tangible connection to the body, to sensuality, and how like the connection of earth and the body ignites this feeling of deep inner knowing within self. Hekate in Taurus is an earth goddess. You can think of her as an earth goddess. If Aries, she is a fire goddess. Within Taurus, she is an earth goddess, and she is healer, medicine woman, mother, wise, just stunning, beautiful energy in Taurus. So if you have Hekate in Taurus, you may find like a lot of comfort in her. She may have those, transformative feelings that is present to her signature, but it's going to be so in a way that like is also this comforting, mothering, nurturing energy to you. And the last of our spring signs is Hekate in Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. She is mutable, meaning she changes and evolves and adapts to her surroundings. She is overseeing communication and ideas. It's likely if your Hekate is in Gemini that you receive a lot of downloads from her, that a lot of your ideas are sacred divine downloads. It's very likely that you came here to use your voice and to share her messaging. So where Taurus is, something physical and tangible, Gemini is speaking, knowledge, ideas, communications, relationships. It is ever evolving. I do see Gemini as very maiden energy, very like flitting about from one thing to the next. So she may bring your attention to many different areas of your life over long periods of time, or short periods of time. So like you may one day feel really drawn to this and then bounce to the next and bounce to the next. And this is an invitation to see that as a deeply sacred part of your divine feminine energy and your creations and your witchhood, and to not judge yourself for not sticking to something for a long period of time. You are meant to change. You are meant to evolve. You are meant to pick things up, to learn about them, to read about them, and then to put them down and to go live it. And from there, find the next thing that you want to immerse yourself in. So she is this beautiful, I want to say like butterfly, adventurous, just sort of flitting about, but in a way that is deeply sacred and divinely feminine, and in a way where you probably don't even realize how you are impacting every single person, job, entity that you touch as you're going along the way. Even if you're not there for a long period of time, you're making a long-lasting impact from the time that you are giving to that specific area of your life where you are giving that attention. So take your daydreams seriously, take your adventure time seriously, follow your curiosities, follow what lights you up. Know that she is giving all of that to you from a place of divine and sacred inspiration and love, and she wants you to follow it wholeheartedly, unapologetically, and to give it everything you've got. Okay, we are now moving on to the summer signs. So Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Hekate in Cancer is a water goddess, and she is also a cardinal goddess because she is bringing the start of a new season, which is summer. If your Hekate is in Cancer, there is a high likelihood that you are very tied to the moon, and that your relationship with Hekate is very tied to the moon and her cycles. Hekate in general is very connected to the moon and her cycle, so it's not like if your Hekate isn't in Cancer, that isn't you, but there's just an even deeper understanding of the moon and her cycles and the connection to Hekate if your Hekate is in Cancer. This is very mothering energy, very nurturing energy, very loving energy, very empathetic energy. This is an individual who is very in tune with their emotions, who wants to go deep with people. It is likely that you have an inability to have surface level relationships with people. Or if you do have a surface level relationship with someone, that it is very draining, bogs you down, makes you feel like you don't necessarily want to spend time with that person. You just have this natural desire and ability to go deep with people. You have this desire to make people feel seen, and you do make people feel seen. You have that ability, you have that gift. When people know you or get to know you, it is like they feel like you are seeing them on a truly deep level. And to some people, that is uncomfortable, and it's not, they're not ready for that kind of relationship. So if you have friendships like that, if you have relationships like that, allow them to fall away. It's not you. They're just not ready for the level of depth and emotions that you bring to the surface. And that's okay. And that's okay. You're still, even for those people, you're still a beautiful catalyst and mirror for them to be able to see that part of themselves. So even the relationships and the friendships that don't work out, it's okay. You still helped that person. And you can just keep moving and go spend time with people who are willing and ready to go there with you. If your Hekate is in Cancer, your emotions are knowledge. Your emotions are your intuition. And it's not to say that you need to act on your emotions. It is important to just kind of let our emotions be, let ourselves feel them, let them be, and then see what intelligence they have for us. But your gut instincts are so spot on that Hekate is not going to let you do anything that goes against your intuition. You will probably feel physically ill if you try to go against what your gut is telling you to do. And maybe that's something that you've experienced in your lifetime, is like long bouts of like stomach pain or migraines or something like that, and you didn't know why. And then looking back on the fact, you're like, well, wow, I was so out of touch with my intuition and so far from where I needed to be. It's like, yeah, your body was telling you, hey, this isn't right. And Hekate in Cancer was absolutely at the forefront of making sure that you got out of that situation and got to where it is that you feel aligned and also alive. So if your goddess Hekate is in Cancer, she is a water goddess. She is deeply intuitive, deeply emotive. She is kind. She is nurturing. She is mothering. But she also came here to make sure that you are 100% authentic to yourself, that you ditch the surface level bullshit, that you go deep, and that you are aligned with both your own cycles and the cycle of the moon. Hekate in Leo is another summer sign, very expansive. She is a fire goddess in Leo. She is also a fixed goddess. If your Hekate is in Leo, the Hekate aspects of yourself, your magic, your ability to transform, your alchemy, your turning darkness into light is an aspect of you that is meant to be seen widely by a lot of people. It doesn't mean that you have to be any sort of public figure unless that calls to you, in which case she would be definitely at the forefront of that. But you're likely a person where the trials that you go through, the pain that you feel, and then the way that you move through it and still find joy, the way that you overcome it, the way that you expand, the way that you shine is meant to be shared with others. You're not the type of person who is meant to just go through things in secret and have no one know about them. You're meant to live your life a little bit more loudly so that you can inspire others to take similar darkness in their life, similar aspects of their life that they have kept hidden, and transform them into light, into bright, into happiness, into optimism. Someone with their Hekate in Leo shines very brightly in the darkness. Someone with their Hekate in Leo finds joy in even the starkest of circumstances. And I'm not saying this to make you feel like you are meant to live like a sad life by any way, shape, or form. It's like the opposite. It's like there's actually nothing that can keep the lioness of Hekate down in your life, because she is optimistic. She is expansive. She is the sun. She will keep going. She will keep roaring. With there being a direct connection to the sun, she also takes on some more masculine traits. So you may feel within your divine Hekate expression that maybe there's a little bit more masculine there than the normal expression of Hekate, and that's stunning. Lean into that. Be big, be bold, be expansive, be assertive. Allow that to be you. I said I was going to weave in some ways and also talk about them at the end of some different ways that we can work with Hekate on an even deeper level in our birth charts. One of which, this is a little bit advanced, so feel free to just put this on the shelf or like put it in the back of your mind for another day. If you're not ready to go there yet, I think I will do a video on this at some point, but it's whatever sign she's in, look to the ruling planet and connect with that and her signature energy. So for Leo, that would be the sun. For Cancer, that would be the moon. For Gemini, that would be Mercury. For Taurus, that would be Venus. For Aries, that would be Mars. I'll just keep going down the rest of them so that we have them. For Libra, that would be Venus. For Scorpio, that would be Pluto. For Sagittarius, that would be Jupiter. For Capricorn, that would be Saturn. For Aquarius, that would be Uranus. For Pisces, that would be Neptune. So just giving you a little bit of something extra. Again, I think I'll do a video on that at another point for us to dive deeper, but just something extra to feel into. So with Leo, let your lion or lioness shine. Let the roar come through. Let yourself be seen. Let the Hekate parts of you that want to come through rise to the surface and shine a light on them for others to see and witness within you. Hekate is meant to be witnessed in you by other people. They are meant to feel Hekate within you from other people. So keep that in mind as you shine that light on Hekate and shine light on the darkness. Our last summer sign is Virgo. So if your Hekate is in Virgo, she is an earth goddess. She is mutable, so she adapts to her surroundings. I'm a Virgo rising, so I'm very familiar with Virgo energy. And to me, Virgo energy is high priestess, is earth goddess, is energy worker and healer. And I have this card in my, well, it's not mine, but in the Solitary Witch Oracle deck that I have that comes to mind. And I've never really associated it with Virgo energy until today as I was writing these down. And it's the Blessing and Banishing Candle. And it's this wise crone who is able to know in any given moment what in her life needs to be blessed, meaning what needs to her attention to be put on it so that it can grow, so that it can blossom, so that it can expand, and what in her life needs to be banished, meaning let's blow the candle out, let's extinguish it, let's purge it, clear it, it's no longer serving. And that is giving me this very Hekate in Virgo energy. It's like finding this beautiful balance in the cycles. And Mother Nature always knows what Earth needs. She always knows what we need as a collective, what the Earth needs, what she needs. And so the weather that comes is a response to what is needed. So if we need rain, we're gonna get rain. If we need a wildfire, we're gonna have a wildfire. And so it's this very like balancing of the cycles, reading the finer energies, reading the finer tuned energetics of what serves in any given moment, bringing grace to any given moment, and like serving what the collective needs in any given moment. It's very service. It's very cyclical. It's very earth goddess. It's very high priestess. So if your Hekate is in Virgo, you are likely so in tune with the earth's energy and also what the collective needs in any given moment. And I know this isn't necessarily going to give you more insight as to like what it is specifically that you came here to do through Hekate, but I do want it to be known that whatever your work is that you came here to do through Hekate is deeply tied to whatever the collective needs at any given moment. So you might actually do a lot of different things for Hekate, and Hekate will do these acts through you over the course of your lifetime, and it will ebb and flow depending on what the collective needs. So don't be afraid to be that person that says, you know what, I know this is only a small seed right now, but this is going to grow into something that is hugely expansive. So I am going to give my energy here. And do not be afraid to be the person that says, I know that this is big and it looks like this is what we should all be focusing on right now, but this is not serving us. It's time to leave this behind. This is something that needs to be banished. It needs to be pruned. It needs to be cut back in order to make room for new growth, and honor the divine wisdom that Hekate has placed inside you as an earth goddess, and she is working through you as a mutable earth goddess that adapts to what the collective needs, while also remembering to put yourself first in that service. Serve yourself first, serve your soul first, but you will naturally be attuned to whatever it is that the collective is needing to feel and receive at any given time. Okay, moving on to our autumn signs. We have Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. If your Hekate is in Libra, she is an air goddess, and she is also a cardinal sign. She is starting the fall season, and some may say that fall season is the season of the witch. So if you happen to have your Hekate in Libra, she is starting the season of the witch within you. And she is very much focused on balance, harmony, sensuality, creativity. Venus is the ruler of Libra. Think lovers, think creative, think creation energy. She is an air goddess, so it is also a focus on ideas, on sharing, on communication. With it being Libra, there is a focus on relationships and also on beauty. So if your Hekate is in Libra, it is likely that you are someone whose expression of Hekate is one of pure love. Love for self, love for other, love for the universe, love for oneness, and finding balance between you, your sovereign self, and your connection to the rest of the world. And what does that mean? It is likely that she really values beauty within your life. So taking time to make sure that you feel beautiful in whatever way speaks to you, surrounding yourself by beautiful things, being out in nature in a beautiful place to inspire you to connect with Hekate. There is a leadership quality with this being a cardinal sign, and it is likely that she came to express feelings of divine love, one love, wisdom, soul guidance, of love for self and love for others. Also very creative. I do feel like with it being an air sign, with there being Venus, creation, love, it's like creating a new way of thinking or doing or being in the world. You are very much, she is birthing something through you and into this world, similar to Taurus, but instead of a physical, tangible thing, I do feel like this is more likely to be something that is spoken of love. But that being said, if it is something that adds beauty to the world, then it can be a physical, tangible thing. There is also a connection between Libra and finances. So she may, work with you and your finances to call in that sort of wealthy witch energy. I do feel like this is very, very steeped in witch goddess energy if your Hekate is in Libra, and really sort of embodying that energy of like being the leader of the season of the witch. That song Season of the Witch is coming to mind. So maybe that resonates with you as well. So feeling into that sensuality, feeling into that creativity, feeling into that love, that Venus, that air, and finding love of self and other and relationships through your Hekate in Libra. Okay, moving on to stunning Scorpio. If your Hekate is in Scorpio, then she is a water goddess. She is also a fixed goddess, meaning she came here to keep things going. And she is death and rebirth. She is deep transformation. She is radical honesty. I already think of Hecate's energy as being somewhat steeped in Scorpio. I feel like Scorpio is a very witchy sign. So if your Hekate is in Scorpio, it's almost like some of her like natural witchy tendencies and attributes are just sort of heightened. It's more like a amplifier of her energy in Scorpio. Now she is currently in Scorpio. And so if you have your Hekate in Scorpio, you are currently going through your Hekate return, which may feel quite intense, but also quite beautiful. If your Hekate is in Scorpio, you are likely someone who is very radically honest in certain aspects of your life with certain people, and you came here to be that way. You came here to shine a light on deep depths that people don't necessarily want to look at or hear or talk about. But you came here to shine a light on them and say, like, listen, this is stunning too. This is beautiful too. We need to look at this. We're meant to look at this. And that might be off-putting to some people. Scorpio energy is intense. You know what? My Hekate is in Aries. That's also intense and also off-putting to people. So you're in good company. Don't let that discourage you. Just know that it's not going to be for everybody, and that's okay, because Hekate is not for everybody. Like, she is and she isn't. Obviously, anyone who wants to work with her can, but not everyone wants to, because her energy is like, if you're not willing to turn on the lights and fucking look at what's happening, you're not going to want to work with her. And so Hekate in Scorpio is very much like, go into the deepest depths of your subconscious cave, see what lies there, do the work, uncover the hidden bits, love the parts of self that other people told you you should not love or could not love or would not love. Go back and do that work, bring that online, bring that part of yourself to life and share it with the world. So part of your work with Hekate may have a lot to do with going into your inner cave, making beautiful friends with your subconscious, making the subconscious conscious, making the hidden seen, and really just healing parts of self that were wounded for quite a long time, and inspiring others and helping other people to do the same, to say, hey, this part of you is actually stunning and beautiful. Hey, you don't have to run away from these parts of yourself or of your life anymore. You can face them. Here's how I did it. And I want to inspire you to do the same. It's very phoenix rising from the ashes, even though it's a water sign. I always think of Scorpio as like a very fiery water sign. And deep transformation, death and rebirth. It's likely your awakening from her has been life-changing, difficult, scary, hard, but also stunning, beautiful, depthy, so much meaning. It's like the rockier some things are, the more beautiful the outcome. And that is the relationship that Hekate has to Scorpio. If your Hekate is in Sagittarius, she is a fire sign and she is mutable. So she is adaptive. She is changing. She is evolving. It is likely that she has a very adventurous spirit. She is very growth oriented, expansive, as well as truth seeking. So, sorry, my light just went out, which is kind of funny that happened on Sagittarius when we're like expanding and growing, but I love it. If your Hekate is in Sagittarius, you likely came here to push the envelope on what we already know and accept about certain things. You came to explore. You came to know more. Sagittarius is connected to its ruling planet is Jupiter, expansive, more growth, finances, wealth. So if your Hekate is in Sagittarius, it is likely that she is pushing you to create a new earth. And there's a few other signs that I'll highlight that have this sort of similar new earth quality. And it's like being able to see an ideal version of what life could look like if we allowed ourselves to go there, if we expanded our minds, if we chose to grow. That is Hekate in Sagittarius. You may also find yourself feeling really connected to her when you travel, when you go places that are far away. Maybe you go to sacred spiritual sites, maybe not. Maybe it's just beautiful sites in nature that are far from your home that help you expand your mind, expand your thinking, tap into that adventurous spirit and say, yeah, but what if we did it differently? We always did it this way. Yeah, okay. Why? Why do we need to keep doing it that way? Let's push the boundaries. Let's learn. Let's grow. Let's expand. Let's go towards that ideal version of life. So you are growing. You are pushing the limits. You are expanding. And you are doing so by evolving and changing in that mutable sign. It is likely you are meant to follow what brings you passion, what lights you up, what lights that fire underneath your ass to get going. That is the areas of your life that Hekate is shining a light on. And that is how and where she wants to work through you. So this energy, Sagittarius and Hekate energy, is not one that I'm necessarily like familiar with in my own like working with her. But I love it. I think it's stunning. I think it brings something to the table that we so desperately need. So if you happen to have your Hekate in Sagittarius, let me know. Let me know what work you're doing. I love it. I feel like you're bringing us to a place of new earth. And I just think that is stunning. We are moving on finally to our winter signs. So if your Hekate is in Capricorn, she is an earth goddess and she is also a cardinal goddess. She is ambitious. She is hardworking. She is determined. She is wise crone. She is grounded. She is leadership. She is loyal. She is dependable. She is strategic. I am not going to lie. Capricorn energy intimidates me in the best way possible. It pushes me to be and see a different version of what is capable within myself, and to embody this very like determined, hardworking, wise energy that I so frequently shy away from for some reason. So if your Hekate is in Capricorn, she came here to start something within you, through you, something that is meant to be very grounded, very practical, that will help this collective move forward and stay the course. This reminds me of sort of her energy in Taurus that is like a steady drumbeat. This is very steady. This is very like she is always there, and she's always kind of keeping the pace. I was going to say pushing the pace. And so maybe you do feel like a little bit like you're being pushed forward by her through her Capricorn energy. But I would almost encourage you to shift the lens on that a little bit to see it more as she's keeping the pace. She's keeping the time with her drumbeat, to make sure that you're continuing to move forward, to stay grounded, to stay the course, because she is birthing something that is very beautiful through you into this collective. And it is something that we are all going to be able to depend on, to find strength in. It's like the wise crone who just knows the right answer without even knowing how or why. So if Hekate is in Capricorn for you, it is likely that you are very wise on a very deep, deep level. There's also a loyalty to it. So if you are a friend, you're a friend for life, unless someone betrays you, and then it's like, no more, which totally honor and respect that. It is a bit of an intense energy. Same with Aries and Scorpio. So again, you're in good company. My Hekate is in Aries. Allow that intensity through. Find outlets for that intensity. Something that I sometimes find myself struggling with is I have all this energy and I just don't know where to put it. So finding like physical movement, maybe art, maybe singing. For me, dancing really helps, like walking, getting it out of your physical body and into the earth. It is a lot of energy. So just making sure that you are utilizing the beautiful bursts of energy that she is giving you, to keep moving things forward. And we have, if your Hekate is in Aquarius, then she is an air goddess. She is a fixed sign, which means she came to continue to keep things going. This is another new earth Hekate sign. So this is pre-spirit, pre-thinker, innovator, break the mold, shatter the box, bust through the boundaries. The ruler planet of Aquarius is Uranus, which is like innovation, but also sudden change. So it is likely any sudden changes that you have had in your life, good, bad, or otherwise, have come with Hekate overseeing them. And I hope if you're here that you understand that everything happens in your life for a reason. So even if it seemed like a terrible sudden change at a time, it ended up really, really helping you in a way. And that is from your Hekate in Aquarius. Now, one of the reasons why this is new earth energy is there is a lens to Aquarius that is very humanitarian focused. Again, seeing that ideal world, seeing that optimism, seeing what could be if we allowed ourselves to go there. There is a rebellious spirit to Hekate and Aquarius. There is an independence, and there is an ability to question the status quo, question the way that we are doing things. Why are we doing things this way just because that's the way we were told, like they always should be? I don't understand why we're doing it this way. It takes a Hekate and Aquarius coming forward saying, nah, like this ain't it. Just because this is how we've been doing it doesn't mean that this is how we should be doing it. And here's how I'm doing it. Here's my free thinking. Here's my free moving. If you do not have a lot of Aquarius energy in your chart outside of Hekate, or maybe you play by the rules a lot in life, or you grew up playing by the rules, trying to be like that good girl type of version of yourself, then tapping into your Hekate may have been a very painful and difficult and challenging experience for you, but it is one that is divinely fated for your evolution to help you grow into that more free-thinking, rebellious, expansive leader of the new earth type of energy. So let that seed run wild. Let yourself expand and dream big into like the wildest dreams that you can dream and take us there. Take us to this new earth, break the mold, shatter the boxes, shatter the ceilings so that we can go to this new earth place, which I just love this energy. And lastly, but certainly not least, beautiful Pisces. If your Hekate is in Pisces, then she is a water mutable goddess. This is an individual who's very in touch with feelings, emotions, and who feels things deeply, deeply. And another sign where emotions are intelligence. Emotions are divine downloads. Again, it doesn't mean that you need to act on your emotions. However, when you feel angry, it's telling you something. Hekate is telling you something. When you feel deep grief, Hekate is telling you something from that grief. So feel it with everything you've got. Allow yourself to go there, to feel it, to process, to move through it. And then on the other side, see what wisdom Hekate has waiting for you in those emotions. There is a beautiful fluidity to Pisces. If you tap into the element that Hekate is in your sign, it can tell you sort of how her energy works. So, I've mentioned with Taurus and with Capricorn, which are both earth signs, it's like this steady drumbeat. With fire signs, it's more of the flickering dance of flames. So there's some ups, downs, all arounds. With air, she is light, she is swirling. With water, she is fluid, she is flowing. And so there is a deep tie to the moon, to cycles, to the seasons. She's just going to work with whatever the energy of the cosmos, the seasons, and the moon is at any given time, to bring things into fruition through you. So just know that I think everyone should work with the seasons always. Everyone should work with the energy of the cosmos and the moon always. But just know, especially for you, you're never going to be the person that expands in winter, ever. And that's just how she operates in you. So honor that. Honor that is her like wintering period, and know that in spring she's going to kick it into high gear. Honor the cycles that she wants to naturally go through. If your Hekate is in Pisces, it is likely that she is also working with you in a way that lights up your creativity. You are meant to be someone who creates things. You are very imaginative. You are kind. You are a dreamer. You are an intuitive, and you are a psychic. You definitely get divine downloads direct from Hekate if your Pisces is in Hekate. Not to say that if it's in any other sign that you don't get downloads from her. Everyone can receive downloads from her, just you have a natural inclination for it if your Hekate is in Pisces. This was the last sign that I marked as sort of this new earth Hekate sign, meaning imaginative, dreamer, fluid, psychic. You're able to go there. You're able to see what could be if we just got out of our own ways, if we just allowed ourselves to go there. This bringer of the new earth. So tap into that energy, tap into that wiseness within self. Know that she is working through you in a way that is full of water and fluid and movement and emotions and moon and cycle and creativity and imagination, and honor how she wants to work within you. I don't know why I feel so called to say that with Pisces in particular. I feel like it's a very unique stamp of hers. So let her work how she wants to work. And maybe this is one of those signs where she doesn't show up as like cookie cutter as, some of the other signs, like, Scorpio is very death and transformation and rebirth and all of that type of thing. Pisces, like, let her be her. Let her be weird. Let her be quirky. Let her be imaginative. Let her grow and get to know your Hekate in Pisces if that is where she is at for you. Okay, we went through the signs. I didn't feel like that was going to take a while, and it did. So I'm going to go through the houses, but I'm going to do it relatively quickly. Maybe we'll do a follow-up where I go more deeply into the different houses, because I do think that could be its own whole video, as well as looking at the different ruling planets of your sign, where those are in your chart, and what that means in terms of working with Hekate, as well as different aspects that she has in your chart. So really, there's so much we can do here. We're just barely scratching the surface today, but we had to start somewhere. And I'm so excited that we finally got to start this, even though this is maybe like the first time you're hearing of it or wanting to work with it on a long, deep level. For me, I've been waiting to do this for weeks until the moment was right. So I'm very excited to be bringing this into fruition. Okay, real quick. These are the different houses that Hekate is in. I'm just going to go through them briefly. Again, maybe I'll do a follow-up where I go more in depth into each of the houses and how that could play out in your life. Just know that this is a jumping off point for her in your chart. This is not the only area where she works in your chart. This is just where she operates from, and it ripples out from there. So take that how you will. If Hekate is in your first house, she has a deep connection to your image of self, your soul, your personality, even your appearance. Maybe you look witchy. Maybe people can just guess you're a witch without, even knowing you. Your self-expression, how you express yourself, how you speak, is meant to be flavored by having Hekate in your first house. You likely have a lot of the similar attributes that she has within you. You're likely a very complex person because she is a very complex goddess. So Hekate is very tied to your identity of self. If Hekate is in your second house, she is very connected to your wealth, your finances, tangible things in your life, how you make money, your self-esteem, as well as what you value in life. She is always going to be guiding you to things that you value, that others value in you, and the connection of how you use those two to make money. If she's in your third house, she is very tied to your communication, how you learn, how you think, how you speak, also siblings, and what is familiar to you. So especially if she is in an air sign and in your third house, heavy focus on communication and ideas, but just pair together whatever sign that is with your third house, very connected to voice communication. If she's in your fourth house, she is connected to your home life, your property, your childhood, how you grew up, your parents, and also your ancestors. So if Hekate is in your fourth house, I guarantee you have witch ancestors, no matter what your background is. And I guarantee you that your ancestral line is healing right now through the work that you're doing with Hekate. So really connect into what that feels like on a deep ancestral level for you. If Hekate is in your fifth house, she is very connected to your creativity, how you create, how you bring things into the world. She is very focused on pleasure, on having fun, on finding joy, on romance, on love, and also on taking risk. If she is in your 6th house, she is very focused on your day-to-day life, your routines, the work that you do every day, your health, and also your service to the world, what you came here to give to the world, and her service through you. If she's in your 7th house, she's very connected to your relationships. This can be your relationship to, it actually isn't relationship to self. That would be house 1, but, marriage, your business partnerships, balance between self and other. 7th house is very connected to Libra energy. So it is, okay, how do I connect to myself and how does that compare to how I connect to others? What is the balance there? What is the harmony there? Heavy focus on relationships. If she is in your 8th house, like me, this one's a little bit tough to put your finger on, but she's very focused on deep transformations, making the hidden seen, psychic ability, shared resources, healing. To me, similar to Scorpio, where Scorpio kind of highlights her innate natural witchy tendencies. I feel like the 8th house kind of highlights her innate natural abilities. So if she's in your 8th house, it's more than likely it's just like the natural witchy areas of your life are heightened by her placement there. If she is in your 9th house, it's deeply connected to learning, growing knowledge, travel, your spiritual beliefs. Maybe she is like, has a deep, deep connection to your witchcraft, your how you operate spiritually, your values, your ethics, and just continuing to like learn and grow in life. If she is in your 10th house, she is very connected to your career, your public image, your leadership, your reputation, and likely also how you make money. If she's in your 11th house, she is connected to community, friendships, goals, sort of your ideal world, and also bringing in large manifestations into your life and how you give back to the collective. And lastly, if she is in your 12th house, she is connected to your subconscious, your dreams, your intuition, a feeling of oneness with the universe, again, making the hidden seen, and also a deep tie to your emotions. So I know I just zoomed through the houses, but I wanted to give us at least something in this video, and then I'll likely do another video where I go into each of those in a greater depth. I would love to hear where Hekate is in your birth chart, both house and what sign she's in. And let's just pour into this, like what insights came through. How do you plan to work with this? What more do you want to know? Again, I've been feeling called to share this for quite some time. For me, 3 weeks is a long time. I'm very much like, get the download, put it out there, get the download, put it out there. So it really isn't that long, but for me, 3 weeks is a long time of sitting on something. So I'd love to hear what this means for you, where she's at in your birth chart, and we can just keep growing and learning and expanding with Hekate in this really cool, new, expansive way. And it is 3:13 on my clock as I end this video. I love it. Such beautiful confirmation from Hekate that we are here, we are doing the work, we are showing up, and we are doing incredible things. So thank you for being here. Again, let me know in the comments what sign you are, what this meant for you. And I'm just so excited to keep learning and growing with you and with Hekate.